Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Hi, how's it going? 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 How is it going out there today? How are you? How are you? I am well. Thank you for asking. We have a guest today, and it's Kore Korva-Ochi and what? There we go. Hi. That work? Did I do it? Did I do the thing? I didn't do it, did I? Ooh, I did not. Wrong. But what buttons am I pressing? What did I do? Hold on a second. There we go. Hi.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Doing all right? Doing all right, Corvo?
Well, I have a heart attack now, but other than that, I'm swell.
Okay,
How are
okay,
you?
okay, okay. I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty. I'm doing
That's
pretty
good.
all right. Pretty all right. Pretty good.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, hi everyone. I hope you're all doing well. If you didn't know, there's a new video out today on, well, it came out yesterday on Avatar: The Last Airbender live action. How it's
Oh.
kind of low key a mess.
Mhm.
Low key, high key, terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I'll go into this in the video. Kind of what I expected, especially if the creators left the series back in like 2020. So not unexpected, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So we talked briefly about this before we started, but Korva,
To be
Corvo.
fair, it's Kara Corvus and Corvo. Like it's there.
How did you think? You said you only watched the first episode. Is that right?
Well, that is almost correct.
Oh.
I didn't even finish the first episode. I
Ooh.
got too bored and just read fan fiction instead.
That's fair enough. What did you ever? Were you ever into the Avatar fan fiction scene?
I actually wrote Avatar fan fiction back in the day.
Oh, I did not know
So, yeah, your girl's been doing the fan fiction since it was on the fanfiction.net.
Well,
And
that's
cut my teeth on Avatar fan fiction.
that's understandable. That's understandable.
Yeah.
I always heard a lot about that being a really active fan fiction scene, especially the Zutara.
Yeah, it was
scene.
Zutara and Dramini had a chokehold. Absolute chokehold on the world.
People, for some reason, there's something about those days. You're just like, I just want the character who's just a piece of shit.
I don't think that has changed, actually.
No, I don't think it has. I think people have pretty consistent tastes.
Yeah, I see far too many people simp for Doflamingo to believe that is ever going to change. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's an odd one. That's a real odd one.
That is the scariest red flag I've seen in a long time.
That's one. There's also what's it being one of my biggest red flags is always people who say Griffith did nothing wrong. Like, I'm sorry, that's the
Oh.
that's like one of the biggest. No. What about Whopper? What about Whopper?
Is that the foot lettuce guy?
The last thing you want in your burger is
Your Burger King burger. It's sweet, but that's just what you might get.
Is that a red flag? Saying Whopper. I think being a fan of Burger King's a red flag.
I mean, you say that, but on God, man, they're the only major burger chain that still has like a vegan option.
It's true, actually. Yeah.
It's you're shining shit, but damn.
Yeah. It's I say that Neha likes Burger King, because like they apparently have really good. Their chocolate shakes are pretty good. I had that when I was there. Though like chocolate shakes in India are weird because they're not like ours here, where they're like more close, like they're thick and like closer to ice cream.
Mhm.
There, they're more like they're pretty watery. Not watery.
Oh,
Not,
like
not I,
milk?
n- they're more they're more like a drink than an ice cream. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's more it's like it's like a thawed shake a little bit. Viscous. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Yeah. It's still cold. It's still got a nice like shaky flavor to it. But like it's not the same like it's not I don't know. There's something satisfying about drinking a nice thick milkshake, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I
No, I
didn't
get
get that
it.
satisfaction, but it was good. So there's that. And also, almost every fast food chain is vegetarian in India, so they have a lot of vegetarian options,
Which is fabulous.
which is fabulous. We love to see that. For some reason, they can't do that here.
They did for a little bit, and then they stopped. Like, it was really cool to have vegetarian options for a couple years, and then everyone's like, "No, I think it's dumb now," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, it's one of those things that I don't quite understand why they can't like at least like one menu option. Like you could take like one menu option from India and just do it
Mhm.
here. Kickstore down. I'm a simple man. I see Corey. I click. Okay.
Yellow, hi.
Actually, I forgot to ask. Hello, Connor and Corey. How are you two? Hope all is well. I'm doing very well. How are you doing, Corey?
The voices.
Oh, the voices.
I've been writing so much lately. The
Want to
voices.
tell me about it? Tell me about what you writing.
Well,
Well,
originally I've been working on a story I've been like softly working on for like a year and a half now. But then a mute, or one of my mutuals. I don't know what the phrases kids use
a
these
moody
days.
mott.
A moody. I like that. We started talking about Law and Zorro at like midnight the other
Of
day,
course, as one
and
does.
I'm almost done cranking out like a 12,000 word fan fiction
Twelve
because
thousand word fanfic. Okay.
yeah, I need to double check what the word count was, but it was definitely we've been well past 10,000. So the voices, Connor, the voices, the amount of work that and like research I've done on metallurgy and jewelry making during like Meiji era Japan is astounding.
You know what? That's I vibe with it. I vibe with it.
Mhm.
I need
Um,
one quick thing I want to bring up here, this is a quick little thing, just to say this, just a quick thing, just real quick. You ever heard of Gojo the Stallion? Here, actually, I gotta share my screen with you. Yeah, right.
oh, oh my.
This does go pretty hard.
I am flabbergasted, but I'm really into it.
I mean, that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. Megan the Stallion is actually going to be like a presenter at the Anime Awards.
So does this mean we're gonna get a Nicki Minaj Sukuna or
She would.
just like
Oh my god. Oh, but there's nothing. What's wrong, Yellow Ring? You can't like someone appreciating taking a cosplay into some high fashion.
mm-hmm.
I respect it. It's good.
Mm-hmm. That's good shit.
It's
Also
good
Yellow
shit.
Ring, I have brainworms and the voices.
Voices.
I don't sleep often or long, and I supplement that time with writing like a mad person.
Here, I'm drinking for you, Nia. Thank you for the hydrate. This is why I drink. Anyway,
What are you
I did
drinking?
need that. Water.
Oh,
Really
like
excited.
like normal water?
Yes, that's right.
Damn, just raw dogging that shit.
Just raw. Just It's filtered water. I will say that I did filter it, but
Oh,
outside that, you know what I mean. It's some straight hardcore water. I'll be real. I'll be
yo,
real. I'll be real. I'll be real. I'll
he's
be
a beast.
real.
He's a beast.
I be, it's real up here. Okay. I know. I know.
Serious hydration.
Some serious hydration going on. Which reminds me, I want to start working on that story again. You work on that story. You do that thing. This is one thing I can say. Do the thing that you want to do because I've been doing that.
Mhm.
And there's been so many videos coming out. I swear to God.
Hey man, the content keeps slapping.
The content mines keep flowing.
Mhm.
One thing I think has been, I don't know how to really feel about it. The view counts haven't been what I've been hoping for. You can't really control that, you know. It just is what it is. It's not gonna. You're gonna get what you're gonna get. But it is one thing. I'm just like, oof. Hopefully that gets better.
Mhm.
Hopefully
I
some of these
hope so, man.
videos hit a stride. You know, because it's like a thing that happens sometimes. Like a video comes out, does poorly, and then eventually does
Mhm.
better. Maybe that's a thing that happens, but you know, it's just
Yeah.
been slow goings, which is it makes it hard because like it's fun. It's nice to have that weekly like sense of fulfillment, being like, damn, I made it. I put out the video. I feel good about it, and then the response is like not there. And you're like, okay, whatever.
Mhm.
YouTube algo does suck. It just is what it is. You know, I just gotta keep posting. Hopefully, I catch some good headwinds on something, and a video does well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, some days the views are like, holy crap, that's so many. I think only my grandma watched this. Yeah. I mean, like you know, it's like you always have like this thing in your head. You're like, is this gonna be like is this gonna be like is this gonna flop, you know, like my what's a video that really my happy marriage video, that one just absolutely face planted. I was like, oh god. Or is it gonna be like my One Piece video?
Yeah, you caught the wave perfectly with that one too.
Yeah, it's like it's such a confluence of things. Even in like I actually do want to do this real quick because I kind of wanted to redesign this, and I think this is fun stuff to do on stream. But here, let me pull something up. I kind of want to redo my thumbnail a little bit here because I think readability is pretty poor on it. Like one of the biggest things, you'll see this with a lot of YouTubers. You'll especially see this with my videos. Is I update the thumbnails, especially in the first couple days, a lot. Like you know, a lot. Because it's important.
Oh,
It's one of those.
yeah.
One of those
And if it's not quite, hitting the way you want it to, or you look back at it, and actually I see a lot of content creators end up doing stuff like that.
oh yeah. It's important. You gotta do.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Okay. Wait, why is it showing that? Hold on.
I don't know.
What's going
All
on?
all I see is Gojo the Stallion.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'll put this back on.
My B movie shitpost will stay in my heart as the dumbest of my most. I love that though. Dude,
Nah,
I'm
hey,
fucking
the shitpost videos are fun. They
I
really
hate
are.
that like shit posts or like meme posts are the ones that like get fired. Like one of my I tweeted something in a response to someone was like I don't know, someone was tweeting about like Sanji and stuff. And I responded to it and I think I got like over 200 likes and I'm like, why that? Why that?
I had I made like a dumb joke about capitalism. Or no, I didn't make a joke about capitalism. I said how capitalism disgusted me, and that got like a couple thousand likes, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I love that shit. Yeah, where it's like there's another one I posted being like I like posted a comment. It was just like Like, you know what? Thanks for the art. However, do you have to assault me this early on a Monday? And like, I will still get notifications, and it's like, okay, guys, how do I turn this off?
Uh, Let me see if I can find.
Meanwhile, thoughtful posts to
I
the
just
joke.
I just responded to my friend Todd's tweet because he tweeted about it was like when the I remember what had been happened. I think it was the when people were talking about like that one movie that didn't get released, the Acme one. Todd tweeted that when he worked at GameStop, one day they pennied out to the price of zero for a bunch of nice Tekken fight sticks. And he was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, can I take one of these home?" And the store manager laughed in his face, gave him a hammer, and said, "I'm gonna go check the garbage to see that they've been destroyed tomorrow." Uh,
Wow.
yeah, that was a hit tweet for him. He got like 48K likes on that.
And that's why you don't ask, you just take.
Yes, yeah.
Fuck the corporate overlords.
Yeah. Look at that
mean-
shit. And then I had like the top response with, "What a lovely system of needless horrors we've created to save corporations a few bucks." But yeah,
God.
this tweet popped off.
I do love how Naveed's face perfectly like encapsulates his message as well.
It does.
What the fuck? And those ads. Yeah, no, GameStop sucks.
Yeah, GameStop does really suck. Anyway, so
Yes.
Avatar: Last Airbender live action is a mess. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like some part of this needs to change. I feel like if I what is it? Hold on, I had.
I love that the picture that you have there for Aang is like. You want to say it's like oh wow, you got a really cool face there, but honestly, he makes that expression 90% of the show.
Yeah, it's
Remember
no.
that smiley, happy little kid? No, you get monologues, McGee. That's it.
Oh, I feel bad for the kid. I really do. I'm gonna
He did-
delete this stuff. I don't
Here's the
think it's not his fault that they.
no, and like the costuming was. I will say the costuming was really good.
Yeah,
The overall like effects. When I say that, I mean like the white
VFX.
the scenery. The scenery is phenomenal. The fighting was pretty good. The acting was so dry.
yeah.
I couldn't get through an episode. I got to the point where Zuko was just like, "Uncle, maybe the throne doesn't mean anything to you," and I'm like, "I can't." I had to
No.
sit through the lady saying the line with the most monotone I've ever heard in my life.
It's the first episode's rough. The second episode, I think other episodes are a little better, but it's real rough. I think maybe having a Netflix logo in here might be good.
Yeah,
Hold on.
maybe like, but
Because
got this.
like one thing, it's always like a thought process of like, what is the person who's going to click on this? What are they going to look at? Like, what are they going to look for? Or what are they looking to click on? Or like, what are they likely to click on? And it's like, so if it has like the Netflix logo in it, I think that probably makes it a little easier to like
Yeah.
read what it's about. I don't know.
and that's a fascinating question, Yellow, because.
What's the question? I'm sorry, I'm not looking.
No, I'll read it out. Totally fine. Yellow says, honestly, if the show hadn't been preceded by the original cartoon, it might have done better? Question mark. Which I like that thought process because it's like, is it bad because we're comparing it to what we wanted it to be, or is it just objectively bad?
I think if this didn't have adults watching it, it would be fine. Because like I think the fact that adults are watching it and adults are judging it is a big factor. Because I think on its own, as as its own entity, it's fine. Like if kids were watching this, it would be fine. You know, if they were the main audience. Because I think it's dumb, but like in a way that like it would be acceptable for like, you know, teenagers and like kids to watch, you know. Like if I was 13, like the same age I was when like the original Avatar was coming out, would I have been would I have cared about like the acting being poor? I don't think I would have, because I think the acting, like if we're being honest, there are parts of like the original show where the acting wasn't great either. Way better, still way better than like, not as wooden, very much more life and energy to it. In a lot of ways, not the same thing, but it wasn't perfect, and like I think there's a lot more liberties, or like I think there's a lot more kids are a lot less critical, basically, of things like that. The CW is anything to judge off of, it's not, that's not what they're interested in. They're more interested in like aesthetics, aesthetics
Which,
of a show. Oh my god, I hate when it keeps
aesthetically they nailed it. To be very clear, the costuming is great. I love, you see it especially in this image. I love the detail in the arrow and like the tattoos. And even like his I see, keep saying the costuming, but like you can tell a lot of care and love went into this movie, but it was also so apparent that it's not in the writing. So
no, the writing is garbage. I talk about this. I think it's one of the better sections of the video, which is good because it was a pickup line I did that replaced a couple minutes of the video that I took out because I didn't think it was good. But like I was like a lot of times I'll do like my initial recording and then I'll come back and I'm like, I didn't talk about this, or I need to add this, or I want to rephrase how I did this. And one of the sections I did was on Sokka's sexism. I think this looks good. What do you think?
I actually like it quite a bit.
Let's do this. I was talking about Sokka's sexism real quick on this, but the one of the issues I had, do card 3. There we go. One of the issues I had with it is that I thought the discourse on it, the discourse of people being like, oh hey, Sokka's sexism is crucial to his character development. We need Sokka's sexism. I disagree with that. I like highly disagree. Like I don't think you need it, because he only really is outwardly very sexist in 3 episodes. Like the first 3 episodes basically, and it's more of a gag for most of it, and it's mainly just a thing kind of in like episode 1 and episode 3. And it's like, do you really need that? No, because I think Sokka's main development, his main arc through the show is more of him, letting go of his pride, his arrogance, his inadequacies as a fighter, and embracing his role and what his strengths are as the leader and as a tactician, right? I think those are what's interesting about his development and his growth.
Actually, I super disagree with that, actually.
I
think it didn't need to be. I don't think it needed to be like as abrasive as it was in the original, but I think we actually let me get through this one. I think we need more representation of, I guess, just like your average like young guy who is like, no, I'm a guy, I'm right, my dad's right, every man I know is right, I'm good at what I do, so obviously I must be good. Being told he's wrong. Like I know that we get a lot of like representation of like softer men these days, and we get a lot of like really good nuance with like the experience of what it is, and like there's more, I guess, kindness being showed towards men and emotions in a lot of media. But one of the cool things about Sokka was that you saw, like for me, I saw like my stupid little brother in this guy, and it was really cathartic to kind of see that someone actually can not just get his butt kicked and be like, you're a better fighter than me for a girl, but to like really fully embrace that. And it's not just like the feminism aspect of it, but it's also like he had like a lot of like, he had a few xenophobic comments even in the original show as well, where it was really just him learning from like a Fire Nation teacher, learning from like the North Air Temple, like people who use like machinery. Like it was really cool to watch him learn all these different styles and ways of living for just the average Joe, coming from a guy that grew up in the middle of nowhere thinking everything he knew was the best and that nothing could ever defeat him. It was really cool to see him not get humbled per se, but humble himself in a way that allowed him to rebuild himself and learn. And I think part of that growth was to see him be cringy and embarrassing, for him to be able to kind of reflect and be like, yeah, I
So
was a shit. Like
yeah.
I think you need part of that. I don't think it needs to be like egregious, but I think
So that's the thing, though, is that
some of it had to be
I
there.
think they carry parts of that matter, right, about him learning and growing from
Mhm.
other people. But I think that if you try to do an art, one, the writers just were, there's a lot of things I just don't think they could have pulled off. But one of the things that
Mhm.
definitely gets lost a lot is the sanding off of the ability to work on characters' flaws, because they have such a tight time frame, and most of
Yeah.
that time is dedicated more towards characters like Zuko and Aang instead of any of the side characters. My actual biggest problem with the change is I feel like they can't. There's a lot of decent moments with Sokka, and like him losing his sexism, I don't think affects his character arc in that show, and like what they're able to do with him to like make an adaptation of it, right? Because you have to adapt it. You can't do it the same way.
Mm.
But the biggest downside, the biggest detriment to it, is how it affects Katara's plots and Katara's focus in the story, because Katara is a character that loses the most in her adaptation. Because
Mhm.
this is what the TikTok I put out today was on, but and adapting from the original to the live action, Katara in the original does a lot of things. She is very much the one who is aspirational, pushing everyone towards their goal and being like, we have to hope, believe that we can make change.
Mhm.
Obama 2008. Anyway,
Yeah,
we
kind
can
of though.
we can do this. Like we have to stick together and defeat the Fire Nation, save the world. If we all like
Mhm.
stick to what we got to do, and like also, but like at the same time, she was also a flawed character. She was idealistic, and believed in people like Jet, and also at
Uh,
times would steal. Like she stole the water the water scroll from the water tribe scroll from the pirates and stuff, and like caused that whole
mhm.
misadventure. Like she had a whole bunch of moments where she is both like the core like believer in the group, and
Mhm.
like is a huge motivating force for Aang to keep improving and growing, while
Mhm.
also being like just the one who's like behind the group, being like, we got to move forward, and like in pushing her brother to get better, and also having moments where she is challenged by the sexist structures and that are in that are in her culture and like in the world,
Mhm.
and her overcoming that, right?
Yeah.
Because they keep things like the Master Paku fight, right? But like it is the only time where you see Katara try to overcome something really directly, because like the jet scenes in the adaptation don't involve Aang or Sokka, right? She's not having Jet. Jet is a character. So in the live action series, they fuse Omashu into being like technically four different arcs are in Omashu. Um,
Oh.
yeah, so it's Omashu itself, the Mechanist, the Northern Water Tribe, the Northern Air Temple. Sorry, the Northern
Mhm.
Air Temple arc, the Jet episodes, and the Secret Tunnels, which is season 2. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
Um,
they did that to hook people. They did that for bait. That's
that yeah,
bait. That's
they did that for bait. That was they didn't need to do that one, but
no.
they should have put that time more towards the Jet storyline. But anyway, so the
Mhm.
Jet storyline gets really changed up because they changed Jet into like he's still the same kind of guy, except instead of like trying to break a dam to destroy a city, he's firebombing Omashu to like blame them as like he's doing false flag attacks so people think the Fire Nation is bombing Omashu when it's actually him and his group bombing
Oh.
Omashu. It's to like
So
radicalize them against the Fire Nation is like the goal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do they at least have like Warriors of Kyoshi as a separate part area?
Yes,
Or is
yeah,
that also...
Avatar
Okay.
Kyoshi is episode 2.
Okay, good.
There's a lot more added to that one. Actually, it's all right. The costuming for the Kyoshi Warriors is amazing, and the makeup looks perfect. Anyway, but the big issue with it does have the Cabbage Merchant. He is the Cabbage Merchant is in the show, but what the biggest issue with it is that the Jet storyline, Katara basically meets Jet and sees, like, Jet's storyline in this one is that one, he's firebombing the city, and two, he wants to assassinate the mechanist because he finds out that he is a spy, or like giving his plans to the Fire Nation, like he was in the Northern Air Temple episode, right? So they fuse those two storylines to be like directly connected. To be like Jet's goal is to kill him, right? And to bomb Boomy also, but yeah. One of the key parts that made those episodes the episode really interesting is that Katara is put as opposed to like her normal role as like the voice of reason. She is someone who's been swept up by a very charismatic leader, and you don't have Sokka and Aang also being there, with Sokka noticing what's been going on and the way he's really suspicious and extreme, and pointing that out and trying to convince Katara of his side of the story, and she just refuses to believe it. What happens instead is that the gang all meets Jet when they're trying to get into the city. Jet helps them disguise in his cart, and they like get into the city. Then Aang and Sokka don't meet him again at all. Katara has him, sees all of his feet and fighting stuff, and is really impressed by him. And then Aang discovers the cart that they had originally been smuggled into the city on, as well as a actual like blasting jelly that was being used for the bomb. So like, oh hey, this guy who let us in, he's the guy who's bombing things. So they tell Katara that, and Katara's like, whoa, that's crazy. That's impossible, but also I believe you now. And that's it. That's the entire change. Like there's no conflict really as much there, as opposed to like what you had in the original, where like you're testing. It's like testing Katara's like ability, like faith in herself and faith in the people around her, and like her own beliefs, and it's just sucks.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's making me want to watch it, but then I sit there and I'm like, do I actually want to go through all that?
No.
Do they at least have like, I mean, because surely Zhao was in there, right?
Yes, Zhao is in there. Zhao is in there. Zhao actually has, I feel like, an increased role.
Okay. Do they have the blue spirit?
Yes, they do.
Okay. So,
The blue spirit section is actually pretty similar, like overall, like pretty direct comparison. But I don't know, it didn't feel parts of it didn't feel right. Like it didn't feel like it worked too well. I think a lot of it's also like the editing and like the pacing needed to go on. Like if they were gonna do this, they probably should have done like a couple more episodes. It would have cost so much more, and it would not have been worth it. Still would be a bad show because the writing's bad, but you know, would have made more. Would have been able to fit more in. Season 1 is like one of the hardest episodes, like seasons, to adapt, because so much of it also is very episodic, like silly adventures, you know, as more so than like even like the other seasons, because like season 2 has like a mix of that, and season 3 is more straight, like almost all straight plot.
Yeah, season 1 I feel was a lot of like it was like a patchwork of like, this is what's showing you what's happening like throughout the empires they're moving through. So you do get a lot of these random flavors, which like I feel like that would almost make it easier for Netflix because that way they could essentially just focus on each episode as though it were its own individual storyline and not have to like stress about having to find something to like really make something up to get it all together. But again, like if the writers have left, that kind of tells us how the writing was.
The creators left, yeah.
Yeah.
One Jet foiled an aspect of each member of the gang. Aang's pacifism, Katara's idealism, and Sokka's leadership style. Yeah, that was very, very, very different character, and you didn't see that that conflict come into play. Because like I think that is a really important conflict, and like things like that melding of all three arcs together is necessary because all three actually like if you're looking at like in the future what aspects you need to have covered. You need to have Omashu. You need to establish Bumi. You need to establish Jet because he's huge in season 2, and you need to establish the Mechanist, because he's huge in like one of his inventions are huge, and like he's a huge influence on Sokka, and like getting to know that Sokka does have an engineering past and is really smart in ways that you didn't really expect. And also one of the biggest aspects is that you need the Mechanist for season 3 and how they do their the assault on the Fire Nation during the eclipse, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of seeds that are planted in the first season.
Yeah, and like you need those, right? So like all those aspects are not things they could have left behind. They needed every single one of those aspects of the show to work in the actual. They need all those aspects to work into the actual like main series. Like they needed all of those, especially the one the show to continue. But like packing them all together structurally, it works. But the writing doesn't give them each pay. It doesn't give each of those moments the payoff that they need. And it sucks. Daniel Purdy is in it though. Purdy, the Abed from Community.
Oh, who is he?
He's the Mechanist. The Mechanist.
Oh.
He actually works really great in that role. I'll show you here. Hold on. I like seeing him in things. It's been nice. Here, I'm resharing my screen to you. One thing I'll also say with that, a lot of Tamils in Hollywood. It's just interesting because he's half white, half Tamil, Indian, and Pudi, yeah. There he is. That's not a great picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He fits the role well. But sounds a bit like when I watched David Lynch's Dune. Really good cast, production design, but hobbled by trying to cram a lot into very little time. Yeah, I really need to see Dune 2. I'm really excited for that. But anyway, one thing I think is really interesting. I see this noted. It was noted like a couple years ago. But like when you see Indian characters in Western shows, you get a lot more diversity in the types of Indians you see, with a lot of South Indian people being in Bollywood, like Hollywood movies. You know, like you'll get Mindy Kaling is Tamil, Aziz Ansari is Tamil, I believe, Daniel Pudi is Tamil, and you also get like darker skinned Indians and like what's it called? There's a Netflix series by Mindy Kaling. What's it called? Fuck. Never Have I Ever. That's it. And the second season of what was that show that's about like dating in like 18th century London. The big family that's all like trying to get married.
Oh, Bridgerton,
yeah. Season 2 of Bridgerton. Also like the main people in that, like the main love interests are all South Indian. um, like darker skinned Indians, and like you don't get that in like any kind of Indian cinema, even in like Tollywood, like the actual like Tamil actual like the South Indian cinema. Like one of the biggest movies in South Indian cinema is RRR, and like the love interest in that is literally a Bollywood star. So she's North Indian and she's very light skinned. Like you don't see that diversity in a lot of Indian movies, but you will see it in the West, which is like an interesting thing that people have like noted being like a positive thing that that Hollywood does, is have more like clear representation of the spectrum of different types of people from India.
Well,
Yeah.
wonder what I was gonna say. I'm like, I wonder if that's like, there's no way it's an intentional thing. It has to just be like,
I think it kind of is in a lot of ways
they're
because
intentional for different reasons. Like,
yeah,
they're
no,
not trying
yeah.
to like have a lot of diversity among Indians. They're just like,
No.
ah, yes, we need more Indian people. Let's just
It's
you
I think
know,
it's a couple things. One is
open
that
it
there's
up.
there's a lot of I think there's a lot of people who are from South India who come to America. It's like South Indians and Punjabis, right? You can actually see this in the Republican primaries because it was Vivek Ramaswamy, who's Tamil, a Tamil Brahmin, and what the fuck is her name? The one who's still in the race right now. What is her name?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh God,
I'm
Nikki
useless.
Haley. Nikki Haley. That's it. Nikki Haley is she's Punjabi. She's so whitewashed though, no one could tell. But she's Punjabi. Like her parents are like are Punjabi immigrants. And like also actually this is actually another Kamala Harris. She's Tamil, as well as one of the Seattle's congresswoman, Premier. I don't want to mispronounce her name. Jayapal is her last name, but she's the leader of the she's the leader of the House Progressive Party, and Pramila Jayapal. That's it, Pramila. Pramila Jayapal. She's also South Indian, and she's like the leader of the House Progressives. She's not the Squad. It's different. She's been in in Congress longer than the Squad and that whole movement. But like their side of the party, she is the leader of that. Yeah. Yeah. So like the House Progressive Caucus. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting because like those are the two. So like those are the two groups you have mainly immigrating to America and to Canada and stuff. Because I think for a number of reasons, there's a lot of Punjabis, and I think a lot of South Indians want to get out of India more because they don't feel, a lot of them don't feel represented by the North Indian government and like the North India's dominance over the Indian government. So there's some fun context there, but I think it's partly that's like who immigrates to America, and then also the view of, I think it's like the viewpoint of like an American audience being like who looks Indian, right? And like if you're thinking of like who looks Indian, darker Indians are like more distinctly Indian for a lot of people. Like their features are more distinctly Indian than I think a lot of lighter skinned Indian people, because like that can be more like, oh, are they like Middle Eastern, or like where exactly are they from? Like darker skinned Indians, it's more clear like, okay, they're from India, or like they're from South Asia. Is like I think that's the reasoning like Hollywood has, is like what they think people will think an Indian person looks like. Is like choosing darker skinned Indians because I think that's more representative of people's outside viewpoint. Um,
Yes.
for like India is like super diverse all over the place, especially
Yeah,
like
and like
East India is way different than like West India, you know?
mhm. Well, like historically, it's always been like there's been so
Yeah.
many different empires going in and out of India,
Yeah.
like even up through like not even just like European ones. So it's like it's always been a fruit salad of culture.
Yeah.
Like some of the oldest river valleys are in that area.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
birth of culture.
Yeah, you have her mom's pale too. One of my customers at work is half Indian. Not sure which ethnic group, but she's darker skinned than her father. It's kind of funny. Her mom's pale too. That makes sense. So the it's like it's an interesting thing because like um, you're right. You're totally right. There's so many different empires and different cultures that came in there. Because India itself, the subcontinent, was never really until the British came in. Wasn't really ever one distinct group, right? It was
Yeah.
like the Tamil kingdoms down south, and up north was like the
Mhm.
Mughals and
Yeah.
different like some Hindu empires. Um,
Buddhist influences
Buddhist
in there as
empires.
well. Like,
Nepal was a whole different region, you
yeah,
know.
whole different thing.
Yeah,
It's
Eastern India, like you'll have a lot of people, especially up northeast India, that look more East Asian, because like you have the Nepal influence here. People in northwest India, like up in Kashmir,
like
look white.
yeah. Well, and like literally the existence of Pakistan and Bangladesh is like proof of this as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
That
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's an in very it is literally we only see India as India. It's kind of like Africa is the exact same way. You only
Yeah.
see these nations as these nations because people who had never been to these places just drew, ambiguous lines on a map. It's the same thing with America and, South America as well. Like the reason why we have the language barrier that we do in South America is because the Pope literally drew a line and was like, cool, Portugal gets this, Spain gets that. So, like it's incredibly, it's very fascinating to me
Yeah.
to see so much diversity. You like you said, a lot of Americans don't know. Like they're like, oh, I like Indian food, and it's like, okay, well, that alone is like a wild,
Oh yeah,
that's
there's huge differences.
a
Like
huge thing. Let alone like cultures, religion. It's
yeah,
fascinating.
like Neha, she talks to me about like Cindy dishes that she loves because she's
Mhm.
Cindy, or like she really loves South Indian food like dosa and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I need to try more dosa. There's dosa rat that has like a loo in it with potatoes in it. Um,
Mhm.
I've heard that's really good. I want to try that again. But like there's so many different types of food from all over the place, and usually gets reduced down to different types of curry and butter chicken.
Yeah. Well, and it's actually funny. I completely forgot to talk to you about this actually. I learned that there's actually a um I'm trying to remember. They specifically refer to themselves as Nepali and Indian cuisine.
hmm
I think it's like authentic momo, is what it's called.
Oh, momos.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
but it's
yeah, I
like
know momos. Haven't had
it's
them, but
just
I know them.
fast. Yeah. They're really cool. But it's like it was just cool because it's like for example, they're like, oh, they had a bunch of curries, and the average person when they think of curry, they actually tend to think of like Japanese curry. But this was all like using North Indian spices and like Nepali Himalayan spices. So it was like green and it was delicious. And it had cheese in it and it was just so like it was a very specific kind of
Yeah,
paneer. It was
yeah, paneer.
palak,
Yeah.
yeah, I had palak paneer curry and it was oh, they lassi and everything. I was in heaven.
Neha's been getting more into paneer foods lately. You get paneer in actual like the in McDonald's. You can get like paneer burgers.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, yeah. It's one of the things they do to make it like a a little more stuff into it, like a little more Indian. Gordon
Hmm.
Ramsay said that North Indian dishes tend to use a fresher spices than South India, which results in a more subtle flavor profile. I might have mixed it up. I think that's probably true. I don't know. Regionality is historically a bigger deal, but because the U.S. has such a developed supply chain, we've lost a lot of that. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
The U.S. Did not have a lot of time before industrialization, like before like um, like the real industrial, the industrial age changed a lot of it. Like America didn't have like the East Coast has a lot more developed cultures and a lot more distinct, has a lot more uniqueness between regions because it had that time to develop. Especially like when things are more isolated, when you didn't travel as much, and you didn't have like TV. That TV is like it's interesting that how like ever since like TV's become a thing, a lot of like accents all over it get kind of sanded down because people more adjust their accent to like what they see normally, what they interact with normally, and that varies a lot with what you see on TV. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So like people's accents kind of normalize, and that's been happening a lot in America, but that happens other places too. But it's this really interesting kind of sanding down a culture because like you're moving around so much more. You're seeing people from a whole bunch of different places. You have the internet nowadays, especially that hypercharges this. But it's very much a thing that where like a lot of America did not have as much time to have like individual differences as defined as other areas or other countries or you know.
Especially out west.
Yeah, especially out west. Yeah.
Especially out west. Well, because a lot of it was settled by like a lot of the same like wealthier. It was by wealthier white, immigrants, if not, people who've been living there for a generation or two. I mean, it's fascinating because like you'll go through and you can always tell where certain people have settled throughout the country. Like I always forget because like I'm from a very, very like German Polish region.
Yeah.
And I always forget like how strange that is in other parts of the country, because they'll be like, "Oh yeah," I'm like, like reference, how there are beer halls like everywhere, and like it's like everyone knows like a little bit of German, right? No, that's a weird thing. That's a weird thing.
It's like it's like San Francisco and Seattle have huge Chinese populations.
Yeah. Yep.
And have like historical Chinese populations, who've been there nearly as long as most of the white people. Or as if not as long,
not longer.
Yeah. And then like also it's actually really people. I think a lot of people are also surprised how long Punjabis have been in Western America. There's a huge amount of Punjabis, especially in Canada, like Vancouver. That's why BC is like one of the big areas for like the Sikh populations. But it's it is really interesting. I think a lot of it again just takes time. A lot of it just takes a lot of time. Those like individual like perspectives to build up. But like India, of course, being so old, has all those different well-defined cultures and regions. So it is very interesting.
Yeah, and also because they were given time to actually like breathe through the years, where it's like a lot of like nuances among culture. Like even like hundreds and hundreds of years ago were just decimated. The Mongolians were like a huge plague when it came to that shit. There was so much assimilation that came from the Mongols that like just killed so much like original culture in Central Europe. But that's a story that could take me 5 hours to talk about.
Actually, one of the ethnic pockets, there's 3 major concentrations. There's the pocket near D.C., which is a mix of blue-collar refugees and the former royal family. Then there's the West Coast, who are people who had the money. And then there's the Midwest group, which seems to only be there because dad has a well-paying job and they hate it. No offense, Corey.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's fair enough, though. A lot of the reason why people moved to the Midwest historically was because of the industry that was there, and because the land was cheap, dude. And even now, like, there's a lot of tech jobs and like a lot of industry jobs, and even like a lot of really really great paying like machinist jobs too, that are just bringing people in everywhere, because the cost of living traditionally in the Midwest has always been incredibly reasonable.
Yeah.
The downside of that is because the cost of living is low, you don't get paid as much. So therefore it is historically a poor area. It's considered, a lot of the area is considered a flyover state, so it doesn't receive a lot of the funding that a lot of coastal states get. So it's kind of forgotten. You see more of that in the Rust Belt, like the further south you get, where there's a lot of neglect. And when you have areas of the country
Wisconsin
that
doesn't
have
count
like
as Rust Belt, right? This isn't.
no gracious no.
No,
No,
yeah,
no, that's
no, no.
below us.
Yeah,
We are definitely part of we're definitely part of the industry. If you're on the Great Lakes, like you like we they're like Manitowoc made war submarines. Like industry has always been huge in this area.
yeah.
Like look at Detroit. But when you have a lot of like, people moving out there because it's like, oh, it's cheap and easy to live here. You get there and you're like, oh, it's cheap and easy because there's fuck all here and no one gives a shit
The
about us.
winters are hard and
There's
brutal.
Yeah, they are, dude.
Yeah.
They are. There's a lot of animosity that grows, which kind of gives you, really, unhappy people, which it sucks.
One thing,
It's a beautiful place, but terrible politics.
right. Well, actually, there is one thing that's really interesting is that a lot of the Midwest states is where you actually have seen a lot of progressives gain a little bit more momentum, especially in Michigan, because like Michigan,
Minnesota too.
yeah, Minnesota too, Wisconsin. At least you got you're able to get out of that fucking gerrymandering finally.
Yeah,
that was a whole big thing.
Yeah, that's huge.
But the Michigan, especially the past couple years, since they have now currently a Democratic majority everywhere. There's only one way. There's only one way to avoid those commercial breaks, and that's to subscribe. Anyway, but Michigan has a really progressive House, Senate, and governor, and like they were able to pass so many great legislation changes last year, I believe. Last year. Hold on, there was like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's because just like, a lot of people turned conservative because they were ignored by, like Democrats from like the 60s, 70s kind of shit. Now they're like, oh, well, I guess like the other party didn't care about us either. So let's just focus on unions. And that's, at least recently, that's more of a Democratic approach, which is wild to me. Endlessly wild to me.
It's crazy though that like, commercials for mods and subs.
Wait,
you don't get commercials if you're subscribed. I've never gotten commercials when I'm subscribed to somebody. Right, Corey?
Huh?
You don't get commercials when you're subscribed.
As far as
for
I
mods,
know,
yeah, but not
mods you still get hit.
Yeah, mods you still get hit, but if you're subscribed, you don't get ads. Imagine that, a political party paying attention to constituency. Imagine that. Michigan is also the place that did the big protest vote against Biden this past week, which I thought was really cool, where they voted uncommitted to like send a message. It's like 100,000 people voted uncommitted to like send a message like, hey, that's actually insane. Biden won Michigan by 150,000 votes. 100,000 people voted uncommitted. Those are people who were engaged enough to primary vote, right? Which is like, you have to be engaged to primary vote, right? Because most people don't vote in the primaries, especially a primary like this, where like obviously Biden's going to be the nominee. No one's even disputing that. That's like whatever. No one's even really running against him. No major names at least. But like enough people, because like there's such a big Muslim population in Michigan, there's a huge protest vote that happened there. And it was like really quickly organized too. So very, very promising stuff there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get some new young names just across the board.
Yeah.
I don't care what party you are or are not in. If you don't believe in fresh blood in politics, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah. No, there's like that's one of the things is like there is actually there is a lot of really promising youth in the Democratic Party. However it works and going forward is how it works. We'll see. We never really know. It's hard to say because like you always get people I mean, it's a little bit of scarring from the Obama era, where you had Obama come in as this like guy who was saying all these progressive things. You know, we're gonna close Guantanamo, we're gonna end the war in Iraq, and we have a super majority and a mandate from the American people to do whatever the fuck we want. And what do we get? The Iraq War kind of ended, and
we got war crimes.
we got lots of war crimes. We got the surge. We got a troop surge into Afghanistan. I hope you like the surge. We also have everyone knows how amazing it was to get Guantanamo Bay. It's still open. He just legalized processes in it. Healthcare, we're gonna pass a public option. No, we're not. Never mind. There's like that 2008, like 2009, 2010 politics is like you had so much you could have done. You could have been so bold, and no one could have stopped you because you had 60 votes in the Senate. 60. And they didn't do shit. Obama also decimated regional campaign offices. That's why it's taken so long for regional parties to bounce back. The problem is the Democratic leadership is doing their damn best to crush the young blood. That's why they keep losing. That is what, like, one thing I'll say is like, if you put like a progressive out there, or like if you put like a progressive policy out there for people to vote on, people will vote on it. Like Americans will vote for progressive policies if they're not attached to the Democratic Party, or if they are attached to them, if they are very vocally opposed to like the core of the Democratic Party. Like you will still get there isn't a real appetite, especially for people who are not engaged voters, and for a lot of people who are like, you know, not centrist, but like people who are like not Democrats, but like, you know, they're more left leaning, but like they don't engage in politics because they don't see any benefit to it, because they see what's happening right now with like the border stuff that's been happening, which is just infuriating, where Biden is basically pushing Republican talking points on the border now, which like is ridiculous. Have you heard about that?
I have so many political friends in my life that I can't escape this.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
He says after.
You...
It's just what it is. Like,
No.
here's the thing: is I don't mind, because you know the more people are aware what's happening, the more likely things are going to change.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep telling myself that. And is it copium? Yes, it's copium.
A little bit.
Because being aware is only half the struggle, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm never going to tell people to not talk about politics.
No. It's one of those things. It's like, one, yes, the regional, Yellowing, you're entirely right about Obama and the regional parties, and, like, the big way that, like, the Democrats really fucked up is that they never cared about local elections. And, like, now, especially now that that's like with abortion, like it's a huge push. It's a huge opportunity for Democrats to be like, we're gonna you support us. We're gonna take over the state government, and we will do what you want to do on abortion. And then while you're in there, fucking give people what they want. Do it. Just do it. On a positive note, Joe Manchin is stepping down because he has no more friends in West Virginia. The young blood used bylaws to remove all Manchin's friends from seats of power. They still don't care. No, they don't. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of opportunity for progressives to regain ground in America. But like we have Joe Biden as president, so fuck. Anyway, back to anime.
Yeah. The only laws you should follow are road laws. Everything else is a threat. Buy local, support your local farmers. Be gay, do crimes.
So true.
Clip that, put on a shirt. Use the money to fund Palestine. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh,
Corey, we have been watching the same anime recently. I just
we
started a couple
have.
days ago, but you've been on it longer.
Hmm.
That's
I'm the one that
Mashal.
got Yosh to. Yeah, I got Yosh to watch it when it first came out.
Yeah, I remember. I
One
remember.
of,
I remember saying all that.
one of my
Y-
points of pride.
Mash Bernadette. One thing I want to clarify: do you watch sub or dub?
Um, I watched dub, or I watched sub. Wow, I watched sub.
I've been watching the
Be,
dub.
you know, Yellow. I'm a straight ally. Be straight, do crime. Be you, do crime.
Do
Anyway,
what you want.
you,
Do what you want.
yeah. Are you watching the dub? You said.
I am. I'm watching dubbed. Yeah,
What do you think?
the dub's good. I like the dub.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I might watch it then, because I've been like trying to like watch at work, like during my lunch break, but maybe
Especially-
I'll just watch like.
The voice actor for Mash is really good. I think.
Yeah. I mean, if he can nail that monotone, I support him.
They do. They do. They really do nail it.
Hell yeah.
So one thing I thought was funny, I took a video of one, like I was watching it. I took a video of one clip and I sent it to Neha because I thought it was funny. And she's like, "Why are you watching it dubbed?" I'm like, "Okay."
First of all, neither of these is your language, so sit down. Third of all,
It's like you're an English speaker. You should understand the value of watching something in a language you understand, and how it's easier. But because like, anyway, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm sorry, it's hilarious. And she's just like,
Alex Lee is a shitposting meme lord. I haven't seen that before, but okay, yeah, he's the voice actor for Thorfinn, and Zenitsu. That's surprising. He's also the main character. Oh, look who he voices. The English voice actor.
hmm. Oh, hold on, I gotta look at. I'm looking at stream, not at stream.
He's
One
the
sec.
voice actor for Mikey.
We love that. I've actually never seen the. I haven't watched the English one.
I've never. I don't know anything about Persona 3.
Mhm.
Good for him being in that. I guess I don't know.
I thought I recognized him. He's the one that did the VO to go with Jonas Scott. He is a shitlord. Oh, because Jonas Scott's also just a complete troll. Also a Midwestern.
That makes sense. Oh, did you hear Konosuba's getting a new season?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm into that. I'm into that.
I'm vibing with it. I'm loving it.
Mhm. Dude, we hit it, we quit it, but I want more Tokyo Revengers so bad. I read the manga after the last season, and God, I can't wait.
I need to catch up on the manga.
Yeah. It's finished, so it's not running ahead of you anymore, which is nice.
So I've been really loving Mashal. Mashal's really funny.
Mhm.
I thought I wasn't gonna enjoy parts of it. You know, I wasn't super certain.
Mhm.
But he's such a sincere character. It's really funny.
Yeah.
It definitely gives me vibes of like, like a mix of like One Punch Man and Mob Psycho in a bit. But it is more like humor is not the same, and he's a bit more of an idiot character. You know, he's such a dumbass. It's hilarious.
Yeah. No, I definitely get Mob Psycho vibes from Mashal. It's just it's such a breath air of like authenticity. You're right, it's just dumb kids doing dumb shit. And I'm so happy about it.
I am too. I'm loving it. Here. I want to try to pull up something on this. Have they announced when the new Konosuba season will be? I don't think they have.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna be honest. The only like whoa, hold on. Scroll up a little bit, buddy. Is that
Bisco?
Let's go season 2. Let's go. Let's go season 2. Let's go. Give me Panda Doctor. Give him to me.
Oh, it's April. It's in April. Damn.
Oh, so like in a few weeks. Okay.
In like a month and a half, yeah.
That's a few weeks. A month and a half. We're already into March.
Yeah, like a month and a half, because it doesn't start at the beginning of April 10th.
Mm-hmm.
I have that too much. I have till then to get started on my anime reviews.
Go.
So it's gonna be animated by Studio Drive, which they're the studio that handled the second season of To Your Eternity. They also handled the Megami show. Okay, that's good. They did a good job on the Megami show, and I don't remember a lot of standout moments from To Your Eternity season 2's animation, but I do love To Your Eternity. So
yeah, I don't remember animation standouts other than just gestures at the entire fucking show.
The show's so good.
It just breaks me.
Let's see. I'm gonna pull something up here. Adaptation of that. What was the prior studio? JC Staff, really? Hold on a second. Is that right? Okay, now the movie was done by JC Staff. The prior season was done by Studio Dean. Okay, yeah, you're right, Dean. I'm surprised it was done by Studio Dean, to be honest. The animation in Konosuba season 1 and 2 was good, though. That doesn't make any sense for Studio Dean.
Wow.
No, they have it coming. Anyway, but yeah, JC Staff did the movie. Everybody get ready for Faye Mata blowing out her vocal cords, whining as Aqua, and Kristen V saying the most sexual degenerate filth. I love the dubs for Konosuba. Konosuba is one of those anime that I kind of need to wait for the dub, because like its humor goes really fast, and it can be really hard for me to like stay locked in or like be like stick with it. I still can watch it without that, but I like it more with the dub. We're not doing the previews for we'll do the previews for the next season anime at the end of March, but not excited about Mushoku Tensei. Anyway, I did want to give some updates on like what I've been watching this season and what I've been thinking. Have you watched Delicious in Dungeon?
No, I've not. The only new anime that I have watched was, and I need to finish it. It was the magic one where they're hunting witches.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. The
There it is.
Witch and the
Maju
Beast.
Toyo. Yeah, that is the only one, and I actually really liked it.
Okay, I've been wanting to watch that. I put that on my list recently.
Yeah.
And yes, we have talked about Godzilla. We talked about it a bit. I've seen Godzilla. It was a whole topic.
I've not seen it yet. It was a whole topic. I've not seen it yet. I want to see it real bad. I want to see that, and I want to see Twisters. So badly.
Twisters.
Yeah, they're making a spiritual successor to the hit 90s classic Twister.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah. Dude, I saw that and I went absolutely buck wild.
Of all things to make a sequel to, Twister? Really?
I know. Dude, I'm into it.
Okay.
Storm chasing? Give me that.
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay. You know what? That's we'll go with it. I did not expect it.
Yeah, listen, man. They screwed up the remake of the Jurassic Parks. Let me have this. Let me have hope. All right, dude.
They'll have the it's like how in Jurassic World they fused like a Velociraptor with a Tyrannosaurus Rex. This time they'll fuse a cyclone with a hurricane, and it'll
Dominus Twister.
Dominus Twister. They camouflaged. Oh no!
Oh no! It's knifing her in the back.
It's like a Friday the 13th movie where it just keeps following them slowly. Godzilla is the best movie I've seen since Everything Everywhere All at Once, which reminds me, I want to make a video essay about that movie. Hope, what's that? Who knows? Everything Everywhere All at Once is now on Netflix, so I'm gonna try to watch that soon. Probably on my day off. Who knows? But
Do it.
yeah, I will do it. I
Yeah.
will do it.
Yeah,
I'll give you all a little preview on what's coming up though for me. Just a little thing before we get back to the anime stuff. This upcoming week, I'm going to be working on a video on one of the isekai that I do like from this from the past few years, which is a video on Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash, which is have you heard about Grimgar, Corey?
No, I don't think I have actually.
It's a it's the anime that Goblin Slayer wishes it could be.
Oh,
But
that's a phrase.
and in the way that it's like it does the thing where like you have a story with characters who all feel like they're in real danger a lot of times, and like where you don't genuinely know what's going to happen to them, and like you have some like real stakes to the story and to like their progression, while also at the same time not being a perverted, gross, disgusting mess. It's an anime I actually love a lot, and I'm excited to do a video on it. But yeah, it's a little sneak preview for all of you. That's what's gonna be coming out next week. Ooh. Anyway, so I've been watching. I just started watching Marshall. I've been enjoying that a lot so far. I'm watching Solo Leveling, which is good. There's a lot of things to say about Solo Leveling. I'm enjoying it though. Mm-hmm. Delicious in Dungeon is great. I love this anime a lot. Trigger this. I keep saying this about every new Trigger anime that comes out, but this might actually be my favorite Trigger anime. Does Grimgar have big titty farmer girl who only dreams of being a protagonist's waifu? It doesn't. It really doesn't. It's so sad. It was so great to greatness. I don't know. Chain Soldier. We'll get back to that. I have watched a couple episodes of Chain Soldier. I'm watching bottom tier character Tomozaki Second Stage. I am enjoying a lot. It's a really good. This has been really good. It's one of the anime I've been looking forward to weekly. Gushing Over Magical Girls is an anime I'm gonna give a try because I hear it's unhinged trash, and I want to see that. Kinda, because whatever. One thing I've been seeing that like has actually had like a lot of hype around it is Villainous Level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm blah, 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 whatever. Villainous Level 99. I've seen a lot of like a really good reception around this anime. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. But like people have been hyping this up, so this might be an anime I might be checking this out pretty soon. I still want to give Metallic Rogue a shot, but I've been busy with other anime. Sasaki and Peeps is one I've been watching that is about a middle-aged businessman who gets a parakeet, or not a parakeet, like a little small bird like a parakeet. And it turns out that this bird is actually a powerful sorcerer reborn from another world. And together they go on an adventure where they teleport to a fantasy world, but also in the real world there is like espers, and also like a secret organization of espers by the government, and there's also like magical girls and a whole bunch of stuff. It's really interesting. It's a show that I enjoy, but I feel like is not focused enough, and has a few too many girls who are 16 who know the main character who is a middle-aged man. Like, it doesn't try to be creepy, but it's like maybe it's a little too many characters who are 16 and know a middle-aged man. Maybe it's a little too many. Maybe three's too many,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe there's nothing like creepy that goes on. Like they don't do etchy scenes or anything, but it's like,
oh, so he just plays Minecraft. I get you.
Why aren't they his own age? Especially like his coworker character is like a 16-year-old girl. Why isn't he just his own age? Why is that gotta be? Anyway, Buchigiri is one also that I'm watching. That Corey, if you're not watching Buchigiri, you should be. This is an anime you will love.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. Wait, let me see. Buchigiri? Yes. Okay. No. Yes. Okay. Specifically, someone said I don't know, apparently. I haven't watched it. I've been told I have to watch it for the green-haired character, and I know absolutely nothing about them or anything. Yeah. You're going to have to show me who this person is, because I've been told that I don't understand why. I was just told that I would love him, and I'm like, that worries me.
You
a
will
lot.
love him. You will love him. Look at this guy. Look at him. Anyway,
Oh.
he's ridiculous. But Buchigiri is a show that is absolutely a callback to delinquent shows. Like Tokyo Avenger is also a callback to like delinquent shows. So it's a lot of like school delinquents, with the main character, Arajin. He is he's a guy who used to live in this town, moved away, and just moved back. And he has one goal right now, which is he wants to lose his virginity. One day he gets chased into a shrine, and to try to he finds like a little flintlock pistol in there, and like he tries to like ward off his bullies that are chasing him with the pistol, and he accidentally shoots, and the bullet ricochets and lodges into his head, into like the side of his skull. And then when he like rubs at it, like it's embedded in his skull, like right in his temple, this genie pops out. Masafumi. Yeah, Masafumi. This genie pops out. He's like super buff and is like, "Hey, I'm here to make you buff and like help you achieve your dreams. Just state your dream, and I will help you do stuff." And whenever he yells that he wants to keep it, like he wants to lose his virginity, they confuse for like a little bit, and like he gets like super strong, which is really important because like this is his school is a school overrun by gangs, like 3 different gangs. Here they are. One including one of his childhood friend. The other Sigma Squad, including this amazing character, the green hair character. I remember I'm really bad with names. Marito.
He's the Sigma Squad.
Sigma Squad, yeah. And then the NG boys, who are pieces of shit. Anyway, they are all absolutely ridiculous, over-the-top characters. This is animated by Mappa, so it looks incredible for a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some really good fight scenes, yeah, it's a show that I have been loving a lot actually. The humor reminds me also of like Yutsura Yatsura, like older anime, older more slapstick anime. You know, it has that kind of gene to it, and its humor does like it just feels like an older anime. So it's also an original anime by the same creator as Free and Skate the Infinity.
Mm-hmm.
So same person who did those ones. They are also the creative lead on this. So highly recommend it. They are really, really good. Yeah, series creator here. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
Anyway.
going through the voice actors because I have brain rot.
Not adapted material. Yeah, it's not adapted. This is original anime. This creator is like one of the few people who can get a bunch of original anime put out, and they all have slight homoeroticism. Free isn't that slight. Neither is Skate. Neither Buchigiri is. It has homoeroticism.
There you go. The moment I saw this and I saw the green hair character, I'm like, oh, so we gonna be a little fruity here. I got you.
It'd be a little something. Everyone, so like, because Arajin can like punch really strong whenever he fuses with his with the genie guy. He will like punch like one of these like super strong characters, and like with Marito, they just get really into it. They're like, "Oh, you can punch that hard, huh? I'm into this."
Oh
Yeah.
no!
And it's like I want you to be a part of my crew. I want to be I want to be BFFs with you. And yeah, my cousin fell out of interest in 3 because she wanted something more explicit. Of course she did. Don't they all?
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Free was great. Free was fun.
So I highly recommend that. Really fun anime. I've enjoyed it a lot. And then of this season, I'm also watching. I'm gonna try to find it here before I say it. It's in the continued. Frieren. Frieren's insane. The latest episodes of Frieren are incredible. Apothecary Diaries, which is one of my favorite anime. I'm doing a video on Apothecary Diaries soon. I love this anime also, and of course One Piece. Of course One Piece.
Oh, of course One Piece.
Of course One Piece.
How
I think
do you
that's.
not watch One Piece?
I mean, yeah. How could you not? But Apothecary Diaries, Frieren, and One Piece. Those are some of my highlights of the week. Apothecary Diaries is so fucking good. Do you know about Apothecary Diaries?
That is definitely one that I haven't watched like any new anime. I've been so busy with life. But no, that is one that I've been wanting to watch since it was announced. It just looks so good.
It's so fucking good. The main character is such a goofball, and they have there's so many great gifs of her, and like cute moments. Is listed as a shoujo also, so if y'all want that shoujo goodness, but really great, really great show. I highly recommend it. I enjoyed it a lot, and the characters and stories it goes through take a long time to develop and are pretty complex and are just beautiful. And Frieren is Frieren. Frieren's
watch Frieren.
Oh my gosh, one of the most recent episodes of Frieren. So they're in a bunch of people have gone into this dungeon, and one of the dungeon's key features is that it replicates everyone who's in the dungeon, right? It makes like a perfect copy of them, and people have to fight the copy. And because Frieren has entered the dungeon, it's made a copy of her, and no one else can fight. There's like this one moment where a team of really strong characters enters a room, and he's the main guy. He's like saying that like if we stick together, we work together, we can take on any task. And then they enter the room, and like boss music starts, and like it like the camera's like slow panning at like the feet of what they're looking at next, and one of the characters is like, "Do you still think we can handle this?" And the main guy's like, "If we weren't in an exam right now, I would have left already." But we gotta do it, so. My God, Frieren. Yeah, it definitely is hinting at like how overwhelmingly powerful Frieren is, and how, she acts. Her personality does a lot of the hiding, but she is herself. Hold on. People made a Dark Souls edit for this. I actually want to show this real quick.
Oh God.
Here it is. There we go. Yeah, no. Jesus, that was really loud. Anyway, sorry for blowing out your ears, everyone.
No, it's good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
People also made a mimic of that scene. Yeah, I saw that. But yeah, she's insane. The show is amazing. The score is so fucking good. Oh my God.
Score is good. The fight scenes are phenomenal.
Fights there, like every single episode is just like, this is like like for an animation studio, this is like one of the biggest like jumps in regaining of their former glory from Madhouse, because like this is like in a year where we had Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, this is like, there's some insane animation going on in this series that doesn't, it's not, they're doing two very different things in the very different shows, so like it's hard to compare them one for one. But they're both some of the most insane action animation I've seen in a very long time, and Frieren is just so satisfying. One of the things I love about Frieren, I saw someone talk about this recently online also, is that like staffs in that anime, like magical staffs, are used as weapons a lot. Like there's a lot of characters that literally like fight with them, like actual like with like close combat, which I think is really interesting. Instead of like, it gives you a lot more range and things you can do with your characters instead of them being far off mages. You have mages who do all different kinds of tasks and have all different kinds of styles.
which is always cool to see because I feel like, especially in such like a magic and I almost said shonen. That's not the word I meant to say. Isekai, like it's we're pretty like flooded with those kind of like genres. It's
Mhm.
really nice to see new takes, refreshing takes, or just kind of like I don't know, a change in pace. Other than the same, I feel like reliance on like strict. I don't want to say like D&D ideas with it, but it's like people forget the practicality,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I like I like the expanded thinking rather than following scripts.
I
It's always
think
cool to see.
yeah. It's not even just D&D. It's also like video games and stuff, and
Yeah,
just like generic fantasy.
yeah,
Anime is really prey to generic fantasy. Also, my gripe with
yes.
isekai is over reliance on video games and power fantasies. Yes, that is the biggest problem with them, in my opinion too. But the um, that's one of the things that just makes Fearin so good, and also just they're able to do so many fun fight scenes with it. It's not a series that's focused on its fighting. Like that's not the goal, but like when it does it in such a great way. And like the direction in those episodes is also really good. Like the dynamic posing and like framing of characters. Especially like I've seen like comparisons to the manga to like what they did in the show. And I'm just like, ooh, yeah, you understood how to get the most out of this look. Um, it's great. It's really fun. It's really really fun. Also, one of the things that's really cool is they'll constantly talk about like the changes in magic, like the difference between modern magic and older magic, and how magic has developed. Because like it's arms races, right? You know, it reminds me a lot of like the kinds of things you'll have like between like old war technology and new war technology. It's an arms race, but it's and like how that arms race has affected things and like different types of defensive magic, offensive magic, and what all those mean, and like how people use magic and the world around them. A lot of really interesting thought processes has gone into it, as well as it being just a really genuine, beautiful anime. So Fearin is absolutely a highlight for me right now. I love it. There's a new episode out now that I want to watch really bad, but yeah.
Soon, man.
Soon. But yeah, there's a lot of great anime I'm watching right now. It's been really easy to keep track of everything this so far this season because there's just so many good things. But I do want to come back to something I mentioned earlier that I said we'd come back to. And that's an anime I watched a couple days ago. I watched 2 episodes of it. It's called Chain Soldier or Mato Sehi no Slave. Corey, do you know anything about this? I think I've talked to you about this. Do you know about this one?
You told me you watched it.
Yeah, I did.
Is this the one that made me raise an eyebrow when you
Yes,
told me you
yes,
watched
it is.
it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
it
felt
is.
so.
Spicy
Go
anime.
on.
Okay,
Pervert.
so I mean, anyway,
Give me Bendu. Continue.
it's on High Dive. Anyway, I'll say that. The great line from this arc when somebody asks another person, "You're only fighting with basic spells," and the other person replies, "Yes, I'm told that's all I need to fight modern mages." I mean, yeah. I mean, like that's yeah. Fern's interesting. Anyway, on High Dive and a lot of women on the poster. Yeah, High Dive is the anime that takes a lot of High Dive is the platform that takes a lot of the spicy anime. And this is one of them. It follows Yuki, a main character who is just a generic guy who's really good at housework. But this is kind of like a Solo Leveling and this actually have a lot of similar story plot points where like in Solo Leveling there will be random portals to another world that appear, and this is the same thing. Random people get teleported into another world that has like started to like have these portals emerge with our modern world a few years before like the story started. And one of the things that has risen to combat this is that there are fruits that people can eat to get special powers, but the only people who get special powers, yeah, I know, the only people who get special powers are women, only women. So it's they say that it's created a they say that it's created a matriarchal society and like, which I haven't seen much of what's been going on, but I have the assumption, because I know how anime works, is that it's like our patriarchal society except with women on top, and everything's still unequal because we can't have equal societies. Ooh, anyway. You know how anime is. Anyway.
Yeah, life, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But that is me speculating, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct. Anyway, so Yuki is a guy who gets teleported into this other world. I'm not gonna look up pictures for this because I don't want to get banned. So Yuki is a guy who gets teleported to this other world, and the main character, the main girl. Kyoka? Yeah, Kyoka. She is like the leader of this anti-demon corps, who all have very military uniforms. It's definitely it's schoolgirl all black military uniforms. So like it's definitely not trying to. I don't know. It's doing that thing where like they kind of look like fascists, and I think that's kind of the point, because it's supposed to be kind of like a turn on, because they're like a strict military group, and also high school girls. Anyway, you know how it is.
It's literally what's her face all over again. The one where they just brought back Hitler.
Yeah. Tanya the Evil.
Tanya the Evil. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see. Got my eyes on all of you.
I have safe search on, so I should.
You see, Yellow, the reason why is because back in the day, they were friends. Japan, what a strange twist. Why do you idolize these?
Well, anyway, here's their uniforms. What do you think's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this is the main character. This is the main girl. Her ability is to like. Her ability is like looked down upon because it's not supposed to be very good, but she's able to like enslave creatures in this other world and like make them fight for her, and like they get a little more powerful, and like she has like full control over them. But like the creatures in that world aren't super strong, so she is the main character Yuki. He gets teleported into the world, and he meets this the main girl Kyoka, and she's defending him, but like all of her servants are getting killed, and she needs a servant to like fight this huge horde of monsters, or else they're all gonna die. And she's like, well, I've never tried this with a human boy before, or like a human before, and so she is like, hey, you want to be my slave so I can use you? And like he licks her fingers and becomes like this giant monster thing you see in the bottom of this picture, and he's able to like destroy the monsters, like mow through them. And the catch though is that after what he does, whatever she wishes, he gets a reward, and the reward is whatever is his darkest, like his deepest desire, like what his heart truly wants. He doesn't get to choose. It's whatever like he's feeling inside, and she doesn't get to refuse. Her body, as it says in the show, her body forces her to do this. No matter what, like do whatever he wants for her. So like in the first episode, they make out very explicitly after he beats all the demons, because that's his reward. Is they make out. Why does she have her tongue sticking out? Because they're making out. That's why. And then he gets hired by her basically, and he goes to live at their dorms, which is all these 4 girls. He lives in their all girls dorm, and he has to be the maid basically and do all the domestic work. And you have the tsundere character back here with the blue hair who doesn't like it. You have this character who's a pervert. And you have this character who's a literal child, who's 11 years old. Nothing weird has happened with them yet, but I don't like that they're included in this.
Don't say yet. Oh, I hate that you said yet.
It's anime. I'm being real. Nothing has happened. But I know anime. Something will happen, and I'm going to be mad about it.
Thanks, I hate it here.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the first episode. And then in the second episode, this other character, I don't remember her name. Names are hard for me. Shushu. Shushu here. She she takes a picture of Yuki when he accidentally peeps on the blue-haired girl, because they have like a hot spring in their dorm thing, and like there's a guard tower, and he's in the guard tower cleaning, and he looks down and he sees her there, uncensored on High Dive. Anyway, and behind him is Shushu, and Shushu takes a picture and is like, "Ha, I can blackmail you now," and like he makes her like, she makes him like do like back massages and like take care of like her laundry and like teases him a lot because she's, as she said, she didn't have a dad growing up and she always went to all girls school, so she's never been around a guy, so she is like trying to like just taunt him, and then challenges him to a game of Street Fighter. And destroys him, and then her ability is to grow and shrink. So she gets really big and takes his clothes off.
Boy, I was even warned about what this was gonna be, so I kind of had an idea, and yet it didn't do justice.
No, this
unrelated. I'm taking a boiling hot shower after this conversation. Completely unrelated.
Yeah, here you can see her be big. This is Unhinged. I watched 2 episodes because I was curious, because I had heard it's absolute trash. And like also, sometimes you need to watch weird trash. It's a part, you have to get a full view of the anime community. It's for research. It's for research, I tell you.
That's when I watch Twilight when I feel that way.
It's research, I tell you. It's research. Mom, no. What?
Oh. Yeah, no. I'm with Yellow on this one. Also, Yellow, I don't think I didn't read your comment, because I did read your comment. My jaw's just simply still on the floor. This boy was in a joke and you looked me dead in the eye and said bet, and I'm still not over it emotionally.
God. It's
always a spicy chat when we're with cold complaints.
Yeah. I think it's fun to do these conversations.
I agree.
This is
specifically talking about history. I don't know if I agree with learning about big women. I don't know if I agree with you on that one.
You went into that?
You know what?
She gets big.
You know what? Yeah.
And she comments, "Oh no, it's so small."
Oh, I hate it.
Oh my god. Maybe we should have standards. We should, but anime doesn't. So, and I review anime, so here we are.
So true.
This is just the reality we all have to live in. Anyway,
you know what?
so
I can't say shit. I watch really depressed anime all the time. Like, are you gonna watch really ecchi stuff or watch really, really sad stuff? All of it's depraved. It just really depends on what kind of fucking trauma you have.
So,
right, buddy?
Yeah. Okay. So here's another anime I want to talk to you about. That I have not watched this anime. I don't know anything about this. I have not seen it myself, but I've heard about it and I've seen scenes from it. It's called Gushing Over Magical Girls. Now, this is an ecchi.
Fucking.
There's this one girl who is a. I'm not gonna do this on. I have this on this. So okay, there's one main girl who's like obsessed with magical girls. She's always been obsessed with magical girls, and magical girls are real in her world. And one day she gets approached by. Yeah, that's kind of representative. Oh my god, what the I can't show this on stream. I'm sorry. Look up Gushing Over Magical Girls and you'll see why I can't show this on stream.
I swear to I don't like the privileges I'm given anymore, okay? I don't like it. I don't want
Anyway, so one day this character, she is approached by a magical creature. Utena is her name. Utena is approached by a magical creature who says that she can give her magical powers, and she will be a magical girl. And she's like, "Oh wow, I accept," and like she signs a contract to become a magical girl. and didn't tell her that it was a magical evil girl because she's a villain, and she immediately gets like attacked by the good girl magical girls, like the protagonists, but she is able to restrain them with like giant vines, and then determines that she actually really likes being sadistic towards magical girls and starts spanking them.
Hey, buddy. I'm coming. I'm talking to you as a friend.
I have not seen this anime. I have not watched it.
Like, if these are things like you want to like talk about, and like
I think they're fun to talk about because it's so weird.
Hey man, I'm never gonna judge you. You do you. You find what makes you happy.
You know what, Corey? You know what? I was talking earlier about how my numbers are suffering and sex sells. You know what I mean? So I gotta do this.
I can't even say shit because if you've seen my new VTuber, it also falls into that. It wasn't even fucking intentional, but like you fucker. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
It's just what the fuck is this?
Dude, I don't.
Oh yeah, there's a tickle fetish in it. This is a fetish anime. It's a fetish anime for people for dudes who watched Sailor Moon as a kid. Yeah.
Just call it hentai. It's what it is at this point.
It just is. It is what it is. There's a lot of depraved ecchi getting made these days. I guess it's always been getting made, but it's on TV right now. So
the birth rate's in decline. That's why there's more of it. Damn it.
Yeah. Shinzo Abe tried to stop this, but he's dead as shit. So.
Oh my god.
Get fucked, Shinzo Abe. Anyway. Hey, that's what he gets for excusing all those war crimes, and also being in love with war crimes. Fuck you, Shinzo Abe. Anyway.
Don't worry, he's dead.
He's dead. Dead as shit. Dead to a modern blunderbuss.
Oh.
Hilarious stuff. Anyway, but those have been your topics for today.
Yeah.
Shinzo Abe tried to make people have more babies by distributing so much porn instead of giving them economic hope. You know what? That would have been like the right. Oh, actually, it brings me to another topic. I watched a video that Kara had actually recommended to me about gender politics in what's it called? South Korea, and how there had been a huge what the fuck? I'll get to that later. Sorry. There had been a huge like actual like hullabaloo over gacha games in South Korea, like a huge. I'm posting the link in the Twitch chat to it, but there's it's a really interesting video, but it's about how it goes over the history of South Korea and its culture, and how there's been a huge anti-feminist movement there, that like got really mad. It started because this one gacha game that never did sexy characters had like a summer character outfit for one character, and it was just like the character in a wetsuit, like a wetsuit that covered their body. It was like a wetsuit, so it's tight to their body, but like covered their entire body. And they got so mad and offended by this, they found a female person who worked at the studio, and like demanded that the studio fire that person. And then the studio did fire that person. Because like South Korean companies are cowardly as shit. So like they're like, oh, they profusely apologized and they fired this person, and then like it just goes on like how it's spiraled out of control, and there's this huge harassment campaigns that happen because like a bunch of guys will like go through all these different trailers for new games, and like they'll see a character doing like this pose with their hand, or like a this, and like they'll think there's a C or something like there, like, or like a pinch. And they see that as a symbol about there's a feminist group some might call it misandrist, where like they actively made fun of men, South Korean men, because like it was like a backlash movement. It's like it's like if Gamergate had like a counter movement that was like supposed to be like reverse trolling the Gamergaters, right?
Yeah.
With like their same tactics, and like the logo for it is like a finger going like this to like imitate that they're making fun of dudes with small dicks. And these guys get so offended by it, they call it like hate speech and like try to find it everywhere and try to harass companies and get people fired because of it, right? Like they'll find someone in the company who's like a woman and who has like tweeted feminist things or like vaguely feminist things years and years ago, and like we'll try to get them fired. And how unhinged it is, even like East Asia, it's how like like they bring up how like Japanese and Chinese fans will like be like, South Korean fans, what are you doing? Why are we getting mad about this? Like we're sexist too, but like what's this about?
This is a whole new level.
Yeah, like also like it's a really really interesting series. It's two videos, but it's a whole great overview of South Korean history and South Korean gender politics, which are just massively messed up. It's a lot. So it's a really good video though. I highly recommend it if you want something casual to watch and you want to be depressed about South Korea.
You know, casual, thumbs up.
Yeah, but the reason I brought that up is like a lot of the reason there's so much anger in South Korea is that even compared to Japan, South Korea is hell. You know, like there's like a study done of young people in South Korea, and like nearly 80% of women describe South Korea as hell and wanted to leave.
And yet there are nothing but cute conveni breakfast videos.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Yeah. Or like the how many women in South Korea, like the huge percentage of women in South Korea who have like plastic surgery done because the beauty standards there are so strict. And shit like that, you know. So it's some really interesting topics. So if you want a video on that stuff and to learn more about that, highly recommend that video. It's by what's his name, Moon Channel, who also he's done a couple pretty good videos in the past that I had seen. One of them was on like trans characters in Japanese video games. And like gender in Japan, a complicated history, which is a super popular video that I also saw from them. So, really, really good channel. Check that out. I shouldn't say really good channel. Really good videos.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the full channel, so I don't want to like. But really good videos. Check them out. Any comments, questions, anything on that? Corey?
No, I don't think I have any comments. Other than everything you're saying is incredibly correct. I think my only comment was, yeah, and yet we still sit here seeing the horrors of all these different ways of living and still idolize them because, I don't know, BTS, which will never not blow my mind.
It's amazing. It's one of the things I think is really frustrating. I was watching this one Chinese-Australian talk about how this Korean parent had to go into debt buying a new fancy car because the security wouldn't let her pick up her kid. What the fuck? So like one thing I think is really interesting, Korea has so many. There's like a section of the video that talks about how like a lot of East Asian countries, people in those countries. I think part of this, especially on Japan's part, it's definitely xenophobia. But like they will say that like they will tell like women from other countries, do not marry South Korean men specifically because South Korean men will treat you like shit and will treat you like property. Like as opposed to like any other nationality in the region, it's like specifically South Korean men have a horrible reputation. So like and like this gets into why that's the case, or like why reflections of that, and like why it's like that, and like it also tells like about colonialism and like how South Korean culture was nearly wiped out by the Japanese and how that's played a huge role in their gender roles nowadays. It's really, really interesting. It's a really good historical view add. how South Korea has developed in this way for this to happen. But so that's thing you should watch, I think. And what else was there? I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a busy one.
Yeah. Really, really interesting stuff. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today. I have had a really wonderful time talking with you, Corey. Thank you very much for joining me on this.
Absolutely, dude.
Hey, we've been having a wonderful time, and now what we're gonna be doing is, we're gonna give old Yumasuki a raid. But before we do that, I do want to say, I know almost all of you here will definitely have done this already, but be sure to check out my socials, check out my Discord, check out the new video on Avatar: The Last Airbender live action, how it's a mess.
Do it.
We're doing a Cold Raid. And remember to follow Corvo Ochi on Twitch and Twitter and any other place that you may follow Corey.
Do it, because I'm going to stream this weekend, but I'm not telling you when.
Ooh, let's go.
I'm going to do puzzles and talk about anime.
Let's do puzzles. All right. Do you have anything you want to say?
No, just that. I'm going to stream probably at a really weird hour tomorrow sometime.
Perfect.
So give me a follow. Keep an eye out. I'm going to come back and talk about what to expect.
Perfect. All right. Well, I want to thank you all for coming out here. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, great night, or whatever it is you're having, and stay rad. Keep an eye out next Thursday for a new video from me. Again, I always really appreciate the support on those, because liking and commenting on new videos really, really helps a lot. It does not matter what you comment. If you comment on something, it helps a lot. I'm going to be real on that. Like, if you see someone post a TikTok, or if you see someone post a video, any form of engagement helps. Just being real.
Sharing, even like sharing the link helps a lot too.
Sharing the link helps a lot. Yeah, clicking share on that and it does a lot. Anyway, so we're gonna go raid Yim Yam. 3 times a comment. Thank you. We're gonna go raid Yim Yam. Yim Yam. She is playing Dark Souls Remastered, so go watch that and enjoy. Again, Cold Raid. Do it again. There we go. And I will see you there. Hope again a great day, great night, whatever it is you're having, and stay rad. I'll see y'all next week. Goodbye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye. Go fuck yourself.
Oh.